So unlike multiplying or dividing radicals where you just need an index that is the same, for adding or subtracting, you need the index and the radicand to be the same. So in order to add these or subtract these together, you need to get the same base. So we need to get them in reduced radical form first. So again, like radicals, vocab there, have the same index and same radicand. So they're just going to group them first by the index, the square roots together, the cube roots together. Come on. Then you simplify each separately, so square root of 20 becomes 2 to the 5th, 2 root 5. Cube root of 16 becomes 2 cube root of 2, and cube root of 250 becomes 5 cube root of 2. And then you can only combine the square roots and the cube roots separately. You cannot combine them together. So it ends up being square root of 5 plus 3 cube root of 2. So yeah, square roots and cube roots, and you can never add them together. All right, second example here, the design shows the boards needed for bracing the back of some set scenery. Will 75 feet of wood be enough for all of the bracing? So you've got that diagram there. All right, so let A, it's pretty jumpy, sorry. All right, so let A represent the length of the diagonal for the smaller square, and B represent the length of the diagonal for the larger square. Determine the lengths of the diagonals. So you got 4 squared plus 4 squared equals A squared, and 7 squared plus 7 squared equals B squared. So then in that case, 32 equals A squared and 98 equals B squared. When you solve for A and B, you get 4 square root 2 for A and 7 square root 2 for B. So there are 3 edges that are 4 feet, and 4 edges that are 7 feet, and 2 diagonals each that are 4 root 2 feet and 7 root 2 feet in length. So you need to add all them up. So that this is that expression written out. So you got 3 times the length of 4, 4 times the length of 7, 2 times the length of 4 root 2, and 2 times the length of 7 root 2. You add them all up, you get 40 plus 22 root 2. If you evaluate that expression and round to the nearest tenth, you get 71.1. So 75 feet would be enough. All right, you got 2 try it questions here, so pause it, try it, and come back and compare answers. So part A up here in red. Both of these, you're going to simplify each radical individually first, and then multiply, and then add or subtract them together. So for 2,000, I broke it into 1,002 because 1,000 is a cube number. And when you take the cube root of 1,000, you get 10. That's where that 10 comes from. That 2 has to stay. Square root of 2 is already simplified, so we're just going to leave that what it is. 128 can break into 64 and 2, and 64 is 4 cubed. So that's where this 4 comes from, and then that 2 stays under. When you add these together, add and subtract these together, 10 cube root of 2 minus 4 cube root of 2 is 6 cube root of 2. Then you also have a square root of 2, which you can't combine, so it's going to be square root of 2 plus 6 cube root of 2. Over here in part B, now you're simplifying square roots. 20 can break into 4 and 5. Square root of 4 is 2, so that's where we get that 2 root 5 here. 600 can break into 6 and 100. 100 is the square number. Square root of 100 is 10, so you get 10 root 6. And then 125 can break into 25 and 5. Square root of 25 is that 5, and the 5 that's left behind is the 5 that stays underneath. Now you got 2 root 5 minus 5 root 5, and you get negative 3 root 5. The negative 10 root 6 cannot be combined because they have a different radicand. So negative 3 root 5 minus 10 root 6 is the reduced radical form. All right, let's look at example 5.